Welcome to the module 8. This is a Q&A module. And before we actually get inside Q&A, I just want to discuss a bit about the certification. Then we will look at the examination questions. In case I find more questions over the internet for this particular certification, I will release the next module. Otherwise, this will be the last module that we have. About the certification. Now, you get about 90 minutes to answer about 50 to 60 examination questions. Delivery method, it's available in both online proctoring as well as examination centers. In case you intend to give the examination at home, make sure you have a dedicated room during the exam and a very good internet connection. In case your internet drops, you will have hassles to continue with the exam. Also, you want to be aware that most of the office laptops given you by your organizations will not work for examination, so you'll need a personal laptop. They have restrictions in terms of firewall policies and all, so it might block you from running the exam on that laptop. Now you get about 90 minutes to answer about 50 to 60 questions. How do you handle your examination? Right? So my suggestion would be that if you get about 50 questions like me in the exam, you should first answer all of them, targeting about a minute per question as your speed. Now, if you do that, by the end of 50 minutes or maximum if you stretch to 60 minutes, you are done with your first round of answering. Now, once you're done with the first round of answering, you can review whatever questions you have doubts on. So wherever you feel that you don't know the answer or you have a bit of a doubt for those answers, you can always mark them for review when you give your answers for the first time. Now, assuming out of 50 questions, you had doubts on 10 questions. Now you have enough time to go back, think over them, and answer them. Now, besides that, there are no negative markings for wrong answers. So in case also you find something which you have absolutely not sure about, feel free to answer that one as well. Generally, what I do is, for something which I don't know the answer, I try to eliminate the wrong ones. So let's say there are 4 options, out of which 2 of them are 100% irrelevant. Now I'm left with the remaining 2, and I have absolutely no idea which one is the right one. I would guess one of it and move forward. Well, that improves the probability of giving the right answer. Still, I have a 50% chance in getting that one right. Okay. Now, besides that, if you have already given the rest of the answers, when you are at much more peace, much more comfortable. Other than that, if you start thinking about the answers in between for questions which you have doubt, there's a possibility that at the end of the exam, you might have questions remaining and you might start feeling stressed out because of time limitation. The reason of the approach to think later on questions you have doubts is to answer the questions which you know with a little more peace of mind, little more comfort, and then approach the ones which you don't know. This assures that when you are answering to best of your knowledge, you are not in stress of timelines at least to complete them. I think that's it what I wanted to, discuss for the examination. Next, we will do the Q&A part of it. Question number 1. Your organization is developing a mobile app and wants to select fully featured cloud-based computing platform for it. Which Google Cloud product or feature should your organization use? Option A, Google Kubernetes Engine. Option B, Firebase. Option C, Cloud Functions. Option D, App Engine. So by now you should understand that uh, application and corresponding platform for it, right, should be App Engine. Uh, Cloud functions are just functions, so you cannot run an app, build an app on it. They just execute the code, what is there inside it. Firebase, we have not covered actually in this course. It's again, it's an API that is available generally for your mobile applications, but it is not a full platform. There are a few things which are available in the Firebase, and we have Google Kubernetes Engine, which is managed Kubernetes cluster in Google, and so that you don't have to set up your own Kubernetes master and configure nodes for it and things like that. It gives you a managed service around Kubernetes. So the right answer in this case is our option D, that is App Engine. So before we move forward, I just wanted to talk about a bit around the Firebase, right? So we have not covered this anywhere, and I thought of discussing this before we move forward to the next question. So Firebase is a kind of a backend as a service. It has a bunch of APIs which you can leverage for backend development, and it is what Firebase offers is it has an authentication API. So when I'm using my app engine to host my application, and it requires authentication that I can leverage on Firebase for it. Now, what else? If my application requires me to send a notification to the mobile, I can use Firebase push notification. So that's another feature which we can use for it. Now, it has I can use Firestore as my database with Firebase. And cloud storage as my storage with Firebase. So there are a few APIs which Firebase offers, which are very very helpful in mobile or web application development. But here the question talks about a compute platform which you are looking for. So that will be App Engine. I just wanted to clarify between Firebase and App Engine before we move forward. Question 2. Your organization is building an application running in Google Cloud. Currently, software build, test, and regular deployments are done manually, but you want to reduce work of the team. Your organization wants to use Google Cloud Managed Solution to automate your build, test, and deployment process. Which Google Cloud product or feature should your organization use? A. Cloud Scheduler. B. Cloud Code. C. Cloud Build. D. Deployment Manager. Well, I hope you guys have got it. It is Cloud Build as a service. So that's the one which will help you, set up the CI/CD process for it. It's the build process which will do the, compilation of code and help you with the pipeline. Your organization runs many workloads in different Google Cloud projects, each linked with the same billing account. Each project workload cost can vary from month to month, but the overall combined cost of all the projects is relatively stable. Your organization needs to optimize its cost. What should your organization do? A. Purchase commitment per project for each project's usual minimum. Option B. Create a billing account per project and link each project to a different billing account. Option C. Turn on committed use discount sharing and create a commitment for combined usage. Option D. Move all workloads from different projects into a single consolidated project. Let's evaluate our options. So option D, move everything into a single project, really a bad idea. So, whatever isolations for teams, for projects was there will go away. So you don't want to do that. Now, coming to option A, right? Purchase committed discount per project with projects usual minimum. So this usual minimum is like minimum usage which each project has. We only commit for those, and we don't commit beyond that. That will optimize the cost. But let's see if you have a better option in this. Option B, right? Create a billing account per project and link it to each project to a different billing account. So this is really really not much of any help to for us. So this is typically like you go to a restaurant. It's a large group, so you have 10 tables, and then you ask them to bill per table wise, or you ask them to give you one consolidated bill of entire group which was sitting. So it's as same as that. It doesn't change anything. So it's not going to help you optimize the cost. Right? So that's your option B. Now, option D, turn on committed usage discount sharing and create a commitment for the combined usage. Now, this will further enhance your, discounts, because now you are giving a commitment across all your projects. What will happen is, if the consumption in project A is less and B is more, still you will get overall benefit out of it. Now, next month maybe A is more and B is less, still you will be able to get that committed discount in place, right? So that's the idea behind sharing the committed discount, right? Or you could say committed use discount sharing. So C will give you a better discount than what A can give you. An organization wants to leverage on tooling and automation as a part of new DevOps philosophy. Which operational challenge will this resolve? Option A, repetitive manual task that hinders workflow. Option B, time consuming supervision of creative task. C, distribution and supply chain issues. D, defective technology equipment that limits innovation. Okay, so DevOps cannot help you with defective technical equipment. Neither can improve your supply chain, right? Nor can improve supervision for creative task, right? So where you need supervision, where human beings are involved, where you're doing creative task, right? So this is basically pointing out to people working to do creative work. So that's either of the place it doesn't help. So the only place it helps is repetitive manual task that hinders workflow, right? So A is your right option. Question 5. Your organization wants to optimize its use of Google Cloud discounts on virtual machine based workloads. You plan to use 200 CPUs constantly for 3 years, and you forecast that spikes of 300 CPUs will occur approximately 30% of the time. What should you choose? Okay, so the question says that you need 200 CPUs constantly for next 3 years. Okay, and during spikes you may need another 100 CPUs. Right? That's how the what the question is, and that might be 30% of the time which you need. Let's look at our options. 1 year committed discount for 200 CPUs. 3 years committed discount for 300 CPUs. 3 years committed discount for 200 CPUs. Regular pay as you go pricing. Okay. So this is also very straightforward and simple. I'm sure most of you all have got it already. It's C, 3 years committed discount for 200 CPUs. Because that's something which you will constantly run, so you can commit for it and you can pay for it. Now you don't want to pay for 3 years for 300 CPUs because you are not going to consume that for all the time. This will just incur additional cost without consuming the resources. So, that will end up being more costly to you. So rest of it can go in pay as you go, right? So your 200 would be go for 3 years committed discount, and 100 would be charged on pay as you go. As and when there spikes, you will be paying for those on pay as you go. That's how the mod billing would work for it. Right. So your right answer is option C, 3 years committed discount for 200 CPUs. How does Google Cloud enable customers to leverage the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning? Option A, with scalable on-premise tensor processing units. Option B, with API and tools for users at different levels of expertise. Option C, affordable and scalable quantum computing. Option D, with machine learning model that always requires custom training. Let's evaluate our options. So start with option D, with machine learning model that always require custom training. That's not true. We have ready to use APIs with natural language, vision. Right? We spoke about those in the AI module. So we have different types of APIs which are available for different use cases. Option C, affordable, scalable quantum computing. Now, both the TPUs, right, the tensor processing units, and the quantum computing, both are, Google's technology, and neither of it is, available to. So first of all, TPUs are available online, not on-premise. So you can't buy this off the shelf and install it and use it. So you can use it in the cloud as a processing unit as an option to leverage on it. Now the option D, which is there, right, scalable computing, quantum computing. This is as of now not accessible to common people. So Google is still, building and evolving things around quantum computing. So it is still not accessible to us. So you're left with option B, with APIs and tools for users at different level of expertise. So we have, ready to use AI models. We have AutoML available where we can train models for specific use cases without doing any kind of coding. And then we have, TensorFlow library available where we can build our custom models. So all of them are there, and that's different level of expertise, different level of problem statement based on what you want to solve. You could leverage on those. So right answer is option B. What is an example of unstructured data that an organization can capture from social media? Customer surveys, comments, and images, seller location coordinates, product sales trends, warehouse inventory records. I think this is also very simple. Your customer comments, right, and images would be the unstructured data, because this would be in different forms that would come, and rest of it, see, warehouse inventory is warehouse, right? So that's always a structured data only can be there in warehouse. So there's no second thought on that. Sales trend, again, trend will build after you have the sales data in place. Anyways, that data is going to be structured, so to build trends. Seller location and coordinates, it's a fixed format, so you are only capturing the location coordinates, so that's going to be the same format for every capture you have, so that also will become a structured data. So what you are left with is dynamic items like surveys, comments, and images. So yeah, surveys would be there, different type of survey formats would be there, different types of comments would be there, right? So that is your unstructured part of the data. Right. So just FII kind of, in any organization, right, 90% of the data is unstructured and mostly in the form of text data, right? So this is just like, to give you an insight of unstructured data, how it is. Question number 8. An organization's public cloud provider failed to meet their SLA of 99.99% availability. What is the potential impact on the organization? So option A, organization risk using up their error budgets. Okay. Option B, renegotiation of SLA to put less emphasis on uptime could be necessary. Option C, unexpected downtime could risk the loss of customers. Option D, all data stored in their database could be unexpectedly lost. So option D, right, is durability problem, not availability problem. So that's out of question. Coming back to option A, risk of using up their error budgets. So what are error budgets, right? So this is again a concept that comes from Google. So whenever they do updates and releases, right, they have an error budget which allows them to go ahead and do the release of it, and in case there is an issue, they can roll it back, go back to the previous version and start serving with the previous version, available version of it. So this error budget is all about giving agility to the teams so that they can move fast, okay, and in case there is an issue they can go back. So there is a budget which they allocate in terms of errors which a team can do, so that they are not bounded by with a fear of having errors and not releasing the project products quickly and on time, kind of. So that's the idea behind the error budget. So this is not going to risk the error budget because this is a cloud provider outage, right? So it's not a development issue which they are going to face. So this is also out of question. Renegotiation of SLA to put less emphasis on uptime could be necessary. Now, this is something which between you and your contract you could do, but this is one of the potential, it's not the potential impact on the organization. I would say it is more on, SLA which you want to offer to your customer. So you are backed with, cloud providers SLA, and you are backing using the same SLA to back your contract with the customer. So you cannot renegotiate the SLA with the cloud provider. That is for sure. They will just give you credits if the SLA is breached. Your SLA with your customer, right, would be depending upon the what you have committed in the contract, and this is something which generally you cannot keep negotiating every time. If there is a SLA drop, there would be some credits you would also forward to your customer because of their because of you not being able to maintain the SLA, but that doesn't really change SLA every time this happens. Right? Now, so most relevant answer over here is if the unexpected downtime always could cause a risk for loss of customer. So there's always certain percentage of risk which business comes with, that in case you are not able to serve the customers with the SLA, and if they are not happy, they may walk out of your contract, right? So this is the impact which a business can have because of breach of SLA. So the right answer over here is option C. A multinational organization has servers running mission critical workloads on-premise around the world. They want to modernize the infrastructure with multi-cloud architectures that could benefit the organization's experience. Option A, ability to disable regional network connectivity during cyber attacks. Ability to back up their data on-premise in case of a failure. Full management access to their regional infrastructure. Reduce likelihood of system failures during high demand events. So they want to modernize the infrastructure with multi-cloud architecture. So first of all, they are using multi-cloud term. They are not using hybrid term in this. Okay. So what is multi-cloud? Multi-cloud is multiple clouds. It could be AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, Alibaba, different types of cloud providers. Right. So they are looking at multi-cloud modernization. Okay. Now when I say ability to disable regional network connectivity during cyber attacks. Now this is more of a feature which is available everywhere. Now even if you are under a cyber attack on premise, you can disable your internet connectivity to stop the attack in place, right? So that is doable everywhere. It's nothing to do with the cloud provider for it, right? And that is nowhere modernization of infrastructure, right? So it's just kind of unplugging from internet kind of thing. So ability to keep backups of their data on premise. Now, again, when you say on premise and cloud, we generally refer that as hybrid cloud, not multi cloud. So the term in the question and the option doesn't match, right? So this is hybrid cloud and that is multi cloud. Option C, full management access to their regional infrastructure. Now, management access to their regional infrastructure uh, is uh, is not a feature, right? This is nothing to do with. It's just accessibility to resources. That's what point is telling about. So it's not going to help. This is always there. You have infrastructure and on premise also. You are going to have access to it. You are going to have it on cloud. There also you're going to have access to it. So this is not going to modernize anything. This is not going to create any kind of different in terms of value, right? So you have infrastructure in on-premise, you will have access to it. Why will you not have access to that? Why will you not have access to cloud? If you do cloud, you will have access over there. So this is not creating any value in terms of a point over here. Now, option D, reduces likelihood of system failures during high demand events. Now, this is something which all the cloud providers do offer out of the box capability to scale, elasticity and scalability. Right. So this question actually talks about general modern infrastructure modernization using multi cloud, and options in the answer, right, boil down to simple fact that cloud providers offer high scalability, elasticity, and availability. So it's in one sentence. It's your option D is revolving around actually the scalability fact of that. Question 10. A travel agency wants seamless share of their social media content with their partners. What should the organization do? A travel agency wants to seamlessly share their social media content with partners. Okay. So I think we have already addressed this in the previous Q&A also. My bad. But let's do it since it's here. Uh, Option A, NoSQL database. Option B, Anthos config management. Option C, App Engine standard environment. Option D, application programming interface. So APIs, right? Application programming interface generally allow our backend programs, right, to interact with services using REST APIs. Simply like how a web server works. That's how the APIs work. So generally, if you want to share content with your partners, if you build your own API and you serve it in a secure way, they can make a request to your API and API can serve them content, and that's a very good way of today's as a design solution, right? So this is very commonly implemented in modern architecture. That's your API. Question 11. An organization is making a strategic change to customer support in response to feedback. They plan to extend their helpline availability hours. Why is the organization making this change? I think so. We have done this also, but let's do it anyways. A user expects professional expertise. Option B, user requires personalization. Option C, user expects always on services. Option D, user requires regional access. So 24 by 7 support is what you are looking at doing. Right? So you're extending the helpline hours, and the kind of idea is if you're working providing support for maybe 12 hours in a day, now you'll be providing 16 hours or 18 hours or 24 hours. The idea is that you should be always available. Generally this happens when your business grows and you're growing global, so now you're serving different customers in different time zones, and that's why they expect that during their working hours, their services, I mean, they should get the support, right? So that's how the 24 by 7 requirement comes in, right? So it's always on service. Option C. An organization wants to migrate legacy application currently hosted in their data center to cloud. The current architecture dedicates that each application needs their own operating system instead of sharing an OS. Which infrastructure solution should they choose? Virtual machines. Option B is open source. Option C is serverless. Option D containers. Okay. So option B, open source, doesn't really make much sense what it is. Serverless computing doesn't offer access to OS. It's just that you put the code and code gets executed. Neither container have a complete OS in them, right? So they are an extraction and they share OS with the underlying virtual machine. So the correct option is option A, virtual machines. Question 13. How does Cloud SQL help organization to create business insights? Option A, integrates with business intelligence and analytical platform. Option B, generates prediction using machine learning model. Option C, generates real-time charts and intelligent analytics. Option D, transform business data from unstructured to structured. Let's evaluate all the options. Option D, right? Data transformation can be done in GCP using Dataflow or Dataproc, right? So these are two places where you can do any kind of data transformation. So option D is out. Generate real-time charts and intelligence analytics. So real-time charts is something which you can do with your BigQuery and Looker, right? So these are two services which you can together leverage for real-time analytics. So you can use it that way. To generate predictions using machine learning. Now that is machine learning you can run on BigQuery ML, okay, and you could do use TensorFlow with Dataproc if you want. You could do AutoML. So SQL doesn't really directly do ML Cloud SQL. It's just a SQL database. So you're left with option A, integrates with business intelligence. Yes, you can use Cloud SQL as a source inside Looker to generate analytics. Looker is which we have in GCP. In other platforms you can integrate. It's a SQL database. So using MySQL or PostgreSQL over there, that data can be leveraged by data analytical tools, and you can have dashboarding available from there. It can integrate, but it cannot itself do things. So that's where the integrate word is the winner over here. Question 14. Your organization needs to process large amounts of data from on an application that operates continuously. You don't want to be required to provision infrastructure or create server clusters. What should your organization choose? So the question is talking about large amounts of data online application operates. So processing of large data. So basically you are looking at streaming data because it says the word continuously. Large data which is being streamed. Now let's look at our options. Option A, compute engine with BigQuery. So again, compute engine, you don't want to provision infrastructure. Compute engine requires infrastructure, so that's out. Option B, Dataproc. Dataproc is managed Hadoop. Again, you are setting up a Hadoop cluster, though it's a managed service, but still cluster of servers will be created in that. Google Kubernetes engine with Bigtable. So Kubernetes engine is also going to create Kubernetes cluster for us, and Bigtable also has nodes involved in it. So again, you are provisioning infrastructure over here. Okay. Option D, Dataflow. It's a combination of streaming and your batch pipelines. It's managed Apache Beam service. So, or rather, serverless implementation of Apache Beam. That would be the right way of putting it. So that's your right answer. It can be used for large-scale data processing, and even streaming data can be processed through it. So that's your Dataflow service. Your organization meant to purchase 3 years committed discounts, but they actually purchase 1 year committed use discount. Use, yeah. So what should your organization do? Option A, contact financial institution. Option B, contact trust and safety. Option C, cloud billing support. Option D, contract and technical support. So see, technical support is not going to help you with billing issues. So that's billing problem. Actually, it's very straightforward. This is a billing problem, so you'll have to reach to billing. Uh, your option A, right, financial institution. Basically, whatever payment medium you have used, maybe you have made payment through some card, and if you call up your bank for that transaction, right, they might not be able to help you because it's a legitimate transaction. It is not a fraudulent transaction. So it's a mistake, and billing support will help you in this kind of a problem, right? So that's where D is the right option. Question 16. Your team is publishing research results and needs to make a large amount of data available to other researchers within the professional community and the public at a minimum cost. How should you host your data? Use cloud storage bucket, enable requesters pay. Use cloud storage bucket and provide signed URLs for the data files. Use cloud storage bucket and set up cloud interconnect connection to allow users to access the data. Host the data on on-premise and set up an interconnect connection allowing users to access the data. Okay, so interconnect is for cloud to on-premise connection. That is generally for hybrid connectivity. So that is out of question. So C and D are relevant options. You're left with two, option A and option B. Now, your signed URLs is for security, right? So generally what happens is that if your data is private, you can generate a signed URL and you can use that to deliver it. So, that's generally to allow people to download the file within a specific duration, and when you generate the URL, you specify how long the URL will last, okay, and then after that the URL expires. So it's a secured way of sending the data. Here security is not the question. Here the cost is the challenge. So the right option is requesters pay. In requesters pay, what happens is you are going to host the data and you are going to pay for storage. But people who download the data will have to first log in, and then they will be able to download the data. And the download cost will be charged to the people who download the content. That is your requesters pay option. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my module 8. This was a Q&A section. I will try to search for more questions and add further modules to this, but for now, this is what I could find. For more videos, do subscribe to my channel. If you have liked it, put comments, share it with your friends. Your comments, your subscription helps me to make more such videos like these. Thank you once again so much for watching my series.